lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. He missed the complete. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Last week it was Stafford, Connecticut. Tonight we've made that 50-minute, 32-mile drive east to the legendary Thompson International Speedway in Thompson, Connecticut for the Outlaw 100. It's round 4 of the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series, powered by the Bootleg Racing League. Now, last week in Stafford, it was the champ, Matt LaVenture, who claimed the throne. Now, there would be the question of can he sweep the Constitution State, but unfortunately now he's on the shelf with an injury, and we hope to see him back on the track soon. But the question now, will J.R. Shepherd keep his hot streak going, or will a new driver steal the spotlight tonight? We're a little less than 15 minutes away from finding out. And a pleasant good evening, everyone. Chris Scala alongside Adam Young, who's filling in for Sean Ambrose tonight. Joe Peak, who just arrived from his walk from Stafford to Thompson, and he's running the show, of course, behind the scenes. Dougie Beard, as always, on the camera. And last week, as we talked about, the Stars were back after that week off to the 24 Hours of Daytona. 16 cars took the green, and Kurt Smith started on the pole. Donnie Moore would actually make his presence known, taking the lead right on lap 1 from 3rd. But then lap 37, here comes the champ, starting from the 9th position. Matt LaVenture made an outside move that pretty much looked like Donnie Moore was stopped on the inside, took the lead with ease, and led the rest of the way to score the win at Stafford, his first of the year, and unfortunately going to be his only win this season as of right now, because again, with the injury for Matt LaVenture, we, as I said earlier, wish him the best as he gets back on the track in the near future. As I mentioned, Adam Young is with me tonight. Adam, we were at Stafford last week, which was, of course, a low bank oval. Tonight, it's a bumpy, high bank bull ring at Thompson. Tell us about the track, once known as the Indianapolis of the East.
Yeah, this track definitely has a lot more banking than what Stafford does, sitting in at about 26 degrees. Of course, that tight paperclip type of form. And you know, there's another thing about this track. It's been around since about 1940, and it's one of the very rare tracks that's been around for that long that didn't start its life off as a dirt oval. It's been paved almost its entire existence. And of course, nowadays, if you go out to Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, you're going to find a 1.7-mile road course out there now as well. But of course, we're going to be on that 5/8 mile here for tonight with that, once again, that banking at about 26 degrees. But hey, let's go ahead and take a lap around Thompson Speedway.
Hello, this is James Carhula in the GSRC SK Modified. I'm going to take you for some laps around the Thompson Speedway. A lot of high banking here in the corners with a lot of room to run. Look for these cars to get up side by side as they venture up the racetrack to find more grip, especially with that newer patch of asphalt there in the second groove. Another thing that's going to be important in these SK Modifieds is going to be brakes after these long straightaways and tight corners. Down low in these corners, you do not have a lot of banking to hold your car into the track, so it is very easy to get the car upset coming off of the corners. But if you are able to keep your momentum up, you have plenty of opportunity to duck down low and make a pass going into these hard braking zones that we have here at the racetrack. Look for a lot of opportunity to go side by side here in these SK Modifieds, especially as the tires start to wear out later on in the run.
And that's a really...
corners and a good drive off, the hard braking in, and you will have a successful race here at the Thompson Speedway.
That's a really fast lap around Thompson Speedway. Of course, last week 16 cars took the grid. Tonight, we're looking at about 17. At least have set times and warm-ups here so far. But Chris has caught up with one of those 16 drivers, and this guy was able to score a top 5 last week at Stafford and looks for another good run tonight. Chris?
Thanks, Adam. That driver is Jacob Williams, a 5th place run for you last week at Stafford. Jacob looking to get another top 5 in the state of Connecticut tonight. How's that looking for you?
I think we're looking pretty good tonight, to be honest with you, sir.
Well, talk about the track. This is a very bumpy track, and one thing we saw just now in our lap guide, you saw the bottom being used, which I don't know if you're going to see that necessarily tonight. What groove are you seeing being the one? Is it the high line up against the wall?
I'm seeing you enter. You want to enter definitely high on this one, and then check up just a little bit, and then you're able to get down and get that little bit of extra 2-3 tenths by changing the apron, going into 4 or 2.
Now, Jacob, you're one of the newer comers here to the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series. Talk about your experience so far and some of the goals that you've set here to try to get to know these guys and to get on that victory step at one point.
Not to be rude, but I've been here for a while. I'm in the military, so there's a lot of times I haven't been able a chance to run in with the SKs. I've been in the lower divisions on Tuesday nights, and last year, so I usually race the winter season with them, and then after that with military and stuff like that, I let these guys race.
Well, can you tell I'm the newer guy here? Well, Jacob, but no, I appreciate your time, and we appreciate your service and obviously what you do for us, but we wish you the best tonight in the 32 car P8 right now on the board, and hopefully we'll see you at Victory Lane soon.
No, it'll be there for us for sure. You guys take a good one.
All right, thanks, Jacob. And that interview brought to you by the Virtual Grip Network. It's a blog devoted to news from the world of iRacing at virtualgrip.net. You can stay up to date on what's happening at iRacing. You keep up with the world of the Top World Championship Series from the Blanc Pond GT Series, the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, and the World Championship Grand Prix Series, and so much more. Make sure you check out Virtual Grip Network. Adam, interesting little point shake-up. Now, obviously, it's going to change a little bit more after tonight, but it's definitely got a tight battle on our hands.
Yeah, we do. Let me make one point real quick for those guys at the Virtual Grip Network. Hey, you want an idea for a blog? Interview guys like Jacob and some of the other service members out there, because they got an interesting story about how they balance their U.S. service member life and also their iRacing life too. So, hey, there's an idea for a blog. All right, we got those points up on the screen. Of course, J.R. Shepard, he is leading that with 40 points right now. 9 points behind is Donnie Moore. 10 points back. It's going to be Jeff Sharp. Jeff did lose 1 spot last week. Matt LaVenture sitting up there in 10th. 10 points back in 4th position, up 2 spots. And then in 5th position is Mike Holloway. So very, very tight battle at the top of this winter season for these bootleg modifieds.
Now, as you mentioned, LaVenture, he's going to unfortunately fall because of his injuries and stuff, and so that'll change a little bit. So it's right now a 2 or 3 person race, but obviously anything can change as we still got 6 races to go in this season. And Adam, Thompson, a track that this series is rarely ran at. They haven't been here for a couple seasons, and now they return. And let's talk about the race details about what it's going to take to get around this 5/8 mile.
Well, it's going to take some patience for sure. If you want to try to run that bottom line, you're going to have to, really try to keep the car pinned down. It's not going to want to do it for too long. Of course, we're going to be running that SK Modified here for today. It is a fixed setup, and we're going to go ahead and invert the top 10 here for tonight. We'll be running 100 miles, which of course is 62.5 miles. It's 100 laps, which is 62.5 miles, excuse me. And these guys are going to get 1 fast repair. We are looking at 100% fuel for tonight. If you happen to come into pit lane, there will be no tire changes, and there is no incident cap. The restarts are going to be double file, and that weather is dynamic. And of course, we're looking at partly cloudy skies tonight with a temperature of about 74 degrees, winds out of the southwest at 7 miles per hour.
That just shows you right there that it's going to be a great race tonight under the lights here at Thompson. This track, actually, believe it or not, was built after the Great Hurricane of 1938. Actually ripped through Connecticut, and this track was built after that hurricane they cleaned up after the hurricane. And as you mentioned before, it's one of the original asphalt tracks. It was never put dirt on there. It's all been asphalt from the start. You mentioned a 1.7 mile road course here. There's also a golf course outside the front stretch here. I actually went out there and hit the links earlier and shot a 45 on the first 3 holes, and I knew right then and there I need to get off the course. So with that said, Thompson, a very fun area, very fun track to race. And with that, let's move on to a better topic of the keys for tonight, as I've talked about here. The one group, the High Line. You heard Jacob mention in the interview, you saw the lap guide. Again, you can use that bottom line. However, the fast lane is going to be up there in the Kyle Larson line, as we like to call it, up there against that wall. You're going to want air high. And, of course, will the bottom come alive, though? That's the million-dollar question. Key number 2, someone else's turn. Meaning, can anyone beat J.R. Shepard? The man has won 6 races in his last 9 starts, and the only time he hasn't won, Matt LaVenture's gone to victory lane. So with Matt not here, J.R., could somebody beat him tonight? You look over here at these times, Adam. Shepard, he's running 18.924. He's fastest right now. You got 18.952 from Phil Temples and 18.942 from Mike Holloway. You got some really close times as always.
Yeah, you really do, and you know these guys can be running nose to tail here, of course, across this bumpy surface, and you know sometimes you get guys running this close together on a surface like this. Sometimes you're going to unintentionally run into each other because the bump's going to try to throw you one way or another. So that's going to definitely be a storyline, I think, here for tonight, as you've been bringing up, and they're going to have to mind their P's and Q's and try to keep it clean.
Yeah, not to mention you got the top. All 16 cars, there's 17 right now, so 16 out of the 17 cars all separated by about 0.4 of a second. That is, wow, that's pretty close between each other. And the last step, and I actually put 2 of them into one here. Let's talk about the bumps. Very bumpy corners, not to mention the walls here at Thompson. These corners are tight. The walls will reach out and grab you. It's like Depeche Mode. It's going to reach out and grab you, basically, when it's all over with. And that could be a factor tonight.
You know, and one of my personal problems with driving the modified is, you know, with the way you sit in the car, the way the car is designed, I almost kind of, well, as you see an accident right there, I didn't catch the car number, somebody's on their lid. Is you almost kind of lose track a little bit, at least I do, of that left side of the car. And if you do that here, you're right. That wall's going to reach out and grab you. And in these modifieds, when that wall reaches out and grabs you, it has a tendency to almost try to lift your car up and try to throw you over. So that's going to be something to have to watch out for tonight as well.
There you go. So that's just plenty of little factors that we have tonight in this race. Now, I did it last week to our good buddy Dawson, which shout out to him, did a great job filling in for Sean, as I thought he did a great job at announcing and also saying who he thought would win the race. He came pretty close to nailing this. So I'm throwing you on the spot now, Adam. You get to go do a Yazik here and pick the winner.
Well, you know, in the Absolute Beginners League, I have horrible luck at this. So let's, I tell you what, I've been watching Mike Holloway a little bit tonight. I'm gonna go with Mike Holloway. Let's see how Mike Holloway does here.
Well, with Mike Holloway, the number 15 car, as Mike actually won the street stock race earlier this evening, which happened at around 7 o'clock or so. And then right before the broadcast here, the trucks were on the track. Chris Berg winning that race in a very interesting finish. They actually ran out of time. When the race was over, they went green, got to turn 1, and Donnie Moore was leading, and Berg got a good restart, got to turn 1, got in the high side, and got around Moore as the caution came out, and then, of course, the race ended. So Donnie Moore losing a heartbreaker tonight in the truck race. Chris Berg winning that one when it was all over. Donnie right now, P14. That's not Donnie Moore-like. But again, when you're 0.3 separation from J.R. Shepard down to Mike Allen in 16th, I think it just shows you how track position is going to play a role tonight.
It really is, and of course in races where the track position is key, restarts become even more important. And we were talking about that bottom line, will it come alive? You do see a couple of guys out there practicing with that bottom line. My experience is you're not going to be able to use it for too long. It's going to heat up the tires, you're going to start slipping and sliding in a matter of no time. But I think if people do use it, it's going to be right off restarts to try to get that early track position right then and there, because it's going to be difficult to pass down there a couple laps in.
Yeah, and that's where you got to get the tires warmed up, and again, you don't want to wear them out, as you see the Highline being used. We're riding on board with a couple cars there. We're getting ready to grid here in about 20 seconds. As I always mention, if you want to chat with us on our YouTube page at Global Sim Racing Channel, you can do so, of course, by talking to us. As a matter of fact, Sean Ambrose is over in chat. You can talk to him tonight. He'll be watching the race, and you could talk with him and also our good friends on iRacing Live who are watching tonight. We appreciate you joining us, and hopefully you enjoy the show. Feel free to chat with us, and so much more. I have the chat open so I can talk to you, or Adam will talk to you, or one of us will answer your questions more than likely. So Needless to say, they are going to grid here in about 5 seconds. So let's go ahead and get ready for the starting lineup, Adam, here in the Outlaw 100, race number 4 at the Thompson Motor Speedway. And, of course, we flipped the top 10, which means Ralph Connor will be, correct myself, Tim Shinowski will be on the pole as he finished in the 10th position last week. Alongside him will be Lowell Jewell. I'll let you do row 2.
Yeah, Chip Diggert starting in third on the inside of row 2. Outside of row 2, hey, there's my pick, Mike Holloway. He's got that preferred track position early on.
Hey, that's how you got to start right there. And let's go to the row number 3, Jacob Williams, the man we spoke to before the race, starting in 5th there alongside Jeff Sharp.
J.R. Shepard starting in 7th on the inside of row 4. Outside of row 4, Donnie Moore.
Ralph Connor on the inside of row number 9, alongside him, Matt Hoos. These were the first 2 guys who actually didn't finish in the top 10 last week, but with missing drivers, obviously people moved up.
Yeah, so we move on to 11th position on the inside of row 6. We're looking at Matt Shinowski. Outside of row 6, Mike Allen.
Ernie Brown going to start inside row number 7 alongside Philip Temples.
Yeah, row 8 is going to be 15th position, Brian Barden. Outside of row 8, Rich Blake, and I'll round it out, 17th position, starting last on the field, John Holcomb.
Yeah, I should mention Barton and Blake. Those are a couple of names I haven't seen, so I don't want to say, like I said, Jacob thinking they're newcomers, and they're really not, but definitely wish those guys the best of luck, as they should go 2 laps around here as they get the green. I'm not going to fall for an Ambrose here and call the green with 1 to go. So needless to say, these cars will get warmed up. You see the Ford Mustang pace car leading them. You see the 26 degrees of banking. It's very weird with this track how the high bank, the high side is the way to go, and you see where the wall just reaches out there and just can suck you into it. And I think we're in for a wild start here.
I really do too. And going back to talking in chat, what are you doing telling people Sean Ambrose is in there? We want people go to chat, not be scared of it.
That's true. Good point. Sean does have the, well, you know what? I've always said him and Soup have the beard off that needs to happen anytime now, because they both got some fierce beards.
We'll save that for the next GSRC get-together. We'll make sure we take pictures and share it on Facebook.
I personally thought they were trying to try out for the Professor Dumbledore in the next Harry Potter movie when it comes out, but that's a whole other story. Anyways, pace car going to pull off in the hands of Tim Shinowski as we're going racing race 4 at Thompson is green. Lowell Jewell getting a good start there in the 2nd position. You see the cars moving up to that high line already. And you just see the run. Look at Holloway there on that high side.
Yeah, so far everybody's behaving themselves nicely. Everybody already moving to that high line, with the exception right now of Chip Digger. Chip Digger kind of stuck on the low side, and you can already see how he's kind of fallen back. He's already back to 4th. He's probably going to lose the nose. A little bit of contact there.
That was close. Very easy to do with this.
Jacob Williams.
Yikes, 3 wide. Oh, 1 car spinning, the 9's around, the 21's around.
First caution of the night.
Ralph Connor, Matt Hoos. Heavy damage on the 9's back end. All started pretty much on the back straightaway there. You mentioned Chip Dickert sliding up into Williams, and Williams gets loose in 4. They all scatter. There's the contact between the 2. Hoos is able to lock it down, but Connor smacks the wall hard. We'll have to see if he uses reset or tries to get the car fixed. You know, that's the one thing we look at Adam, on these kind of tracks is we see, I call it the grip strip because I'm so used to Poconos, you see the replay again as Connor, look out below, bam. You got these corners, they have that black little strip on the inside, and you would think there was grip there, but it's actually vice versa. It's up top is where the grip is, and that's where you saw where Dickert slid up into the car of Jacob Williams and almost had a wreck off too.
Yeah, you want to be careful where you put your tires at here, especially, and that's part of the reason right there why that bottom line just really doesn't work out too well. So you know, and you were kind of seeing it there, and it also kind of puts you in the danger zone, as you saw Jacob Williams get a little loose right there, right around Chip Digger just a minute ago, and you know, and Chip wasn't exactly in the best spot that he could have been in on the low line. He really didn't have an escape route, so to speak, to kind of get around Jacob if Jacob wasn't able to get it gathered up. But thankfully he did, and we ended up having, of course, the incident behind them.
Taking a look at your top 10, Tim Shinosky, your leader. Lowell Jewell, Mike Holloway, that's Adam's pick. They're running in the 3rd position. Chip Dickert, Jeff Sharp there in the 5th position. You got Jacob Williams there in 6th. He was able to hold on a car. Donnie Moore there in the 7th position. J.R. Shepard hasn't been able to move at all. He's still in 8th. Mike Allen. Phil Temples started back in the 14th position, already up into the top 10. He'll be one to definitely fight with this evening, as he's a pretty strong runner on these short tracks and these Outlaws. Should mention all the cars on the track, and Connor, I didn't get a chance. Looks like he hasn't been on pit road, so Connor looks like is going to go with what he has here. That rear end's pretty smashed up. We'll see how it handles here. I think with this kind of track, it shouldn't be a big of a deal.
And it looked like he hit relatively square too, so I wouldn't be too worried about any kind of rear end track damage or anything like that from the axle. So as long as it's driving straight, probably no reason to fix it.
Man, why not? Let's see how it goes. Maybe it'll help him. Who knows? You get that spoiler up there in the air a little bit. Pace car going to pull on. Tim Shinosky going to lead it back to the restart, lap number 7, and we're underway again. Good restart for him. Good restart for Lowell Jewell. See if Holloway can slide up there in front of Dickert. He's going to take that bottom line. Dickert's going to get a good run.
Oh, contact in the back. Somebody's on their lid.
Contact. Sharp's involved. Shepard gets through it. I think we definitely had net code there. Jeff Sharp involved.
Big accident there, and even up in front of that accident, after everybody had cleared, the 32 ended up dropping down because of the accident, getting into the 49, so it was even bigger up in front as well.
Yikes, second caution out. You're going to see this on the replay. Maybe not so much netcode. Yeah, you mentioned Holloway going on his lid. Shepard, maybe some damage in there.
You can see Holloway sliding a long way on his roof there, getting hit several times. In fact, getting almost launched right there. Who was that went underneath him there? I think that was the 00, the buckshot car there. And Holloway's still on his roof. Thankfully, these guys get a fast repair, but since he didn't go back on all fours, he's going to have to take a tow, and I think that's going to take him out of contention, possibly, unless he's able to get a lucky dog here at some point.
As you ride, that's Matt Shinosky who's in that 00. You see him scraping up the wall. There's Drecke. It's Clobbers, Jake Williams. Yeah, wow. Right in your living room. We're going to ride on board John Holcomb here. Let's see how his perspective. He's back here in the 9th position. Holcomb started last in this race. Checks up. He scrapes the wall a little bit. We need to play the lottery with his numbers tonight. Let's talk to him after the race and get his lottery numbers.
And that, one thing I want to point out there is, as you saw him, he kind of grazed the wall a little bit once he got into braking. Now, these are open wheel cars, but they're not as fragile as what you would normally think of as open wheel cars. You are able to brush the wall a little bit before you end up having to worry about things like suspension damage and the stuff like that. So that little impact there shouldn't hurt him. And man, what a masterful job avoiding contact with the cars that were just flipping and sliding and everything else in front of him.
Yeah, these cars are definitely not fragile. Or fragile, as I like to call them.
And as we get ready to go back to green here the next time around, Chip Dickert is now a lap down. Jacob Williams and Mike Holloway both 3 laps down to the leader.
Adam put the Isaac curse on somebody. We tried it. Well, nothing to be ashamed of. Shinosky's going to lead it, though. Lowell Jewell. How about Donnie Moore, J.R. Shepard, 3rd and 4th? They were 8th and 9th just a second ago. Shinosky with another good jump. Let's see if Lowell can fight that high side. Shepard, maybe a slide job. Nope, not able to do it. Donnie Moore's going to clear off. One car spinning in the back. 2 cars are spun in the back. Brian Barton and Mike Holloway checked up. He's in the middle of the track here. He needs a hurry or caution's going to come out. Caution is out. There's actually a wreck on the front straightaway too now. Matt Hoos is in the middle, grasped by the pace car. And things happening everywhere here.
Yeah, it looked like John Holcomb went up a little bit on trying to get his car here on Matt Hoos. Matt Hoos ended up riding a wall for a little bit there, right across the start finish line.
Right now we're seeing the replay of Brian Barton first. Which he spun to the inside there to screen's right, but now we're going to go to this other wreck with John Holcomb. Comes off the corner, tries the slider there, and bam. Oh, not Phil Temples, but Ralph Connor involved in that. He goes flipping. But look where Matt Hoos ends up. He ends up down by the pace car, which is pretty interesting to me. Didn't think the pace car would be any danger. There's the Barton spin right there. You see that.
And I definitely think Matt Hoos's car is definitely hurt after that. He's crabbing to his pit stall here, but I don't think he was involved in that earlier accident, so he should still have his fast repair here.
A lot of action going on here at Thompson so far this evening, or as road racers will put it, a lot of argy-bargy. I had to quote Calvin Fish. I had to do it.
I've got nothing for you on that one, Chris.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, that's not a first for anyone. So Shanowski leads, Lowell Jewell, J.R. Shepard, as we hear cricket noises in the booth right now. Donnie Moore and, of course, Philip Temples. And it looks like Jeff Sharp going to get the wave around. I think I heard that right. Or actually, no, Chip Dickard will get the wave around. So he'll be back on the lead lap there in the 04 car. How about Blake down there in the 9th position, a name I haven't said at all. I think he's a newcomer here, Rich Blake in the 4 car. Nice debut for him so far.
Yeah, really nice race. He's been able to keep the car clean, which is, this early of the race has actually been a pretty hard thing to do. So, clean looking modified right there.
Yeah, the Indiana driver there got a little bit of a classic Morgan McClure Racing yellow number 4 there. You think back to the Ernie Irvin, Sterling Marlin days with Slim Fast on the car.
I almost forgot about those days because those kind of overshadowed a little bit by the Kodak days when they went to that golden yellow scheme.
Yeah. Back when, and actually, I live in the town where Kodak was brought to life, and well, pretty much went down the drain, unfortunately, too. But that's all I hear about up here where I live is Kodak, because it's popular up here. But that was a cool car to watch on the racing side of things all those years. Pace car lights are off. Tim Shanowski has led all 18 laps so far. The pace cars led the other 12. I'm just kidding. But Shanowski, Jewell, Shepard, Moore, and Temple's up to that 5th position. Temple started, I think, back in 16th here. Just double checking my numbers. 14th, Phil Temple started, already up to 5th. Here we go, Tim Shanowski going to get the restart. Here he goes, he's on it. Shepard's on it, Lowell Jewell's on it.
A little bit of a checkup right there on that outside line that's going to allow Tim Shanowski to kind of get away from Lowell Jewell. And of course now the car is Shepard settling into 3rd as they go mostly single file here on the backstretch.
Yeah, normally these Outlaw Modifieds, I always talk about this, usually they have a longer, and I spoke too soon, as one car spinning in 4. The 38 of Jacob Williams, 32 of Jacob Williams, and Ralph Connor are wrecked on pit road pretty much.
And
in Sharp too.
You're ready to see a classic short track wreck where one thing happens and they just kind of pile into each other from there because there's just nowhere to go.
Oh yeah, it looks like a big checkup, and Matt Hoos gets in the back of Charles. You called it. Chain reaction, 5 cars involved, at least with contact. Ralph Connor was coming to pit road and gets drilled. Ralph Connor, the winner of the Innocent Bystander Award. We get a chance to get Joe to jump on board with that 9 car. This is talk about bad luck. Hey, Ralph, he's down here off the pace, just minding his own business, going to go to pit road, and all of a sudden here comes Jacob. Wait, no. You see Ralph just down there on the apron. Probably trying to find out where his hauler is, what's for dinner tonight.
And I think he realized after this that tonight is not his night, so he's going to call it a night.
So caution number 3 at lap number 23. Now, I was about to say, normal tradition for the Outlaws that I've learned here in the couple seasons I've done this now is usually we either have a long green run and then a few cautions, or we'll have a few cautions and then a long green run. So a long green run is going to be coming here, I think, in the very near future for these cars. And it's a matter of who can save their tires and get there. Brian Barden getting the wave around. He'll be back on the lead lap or one lap down, actually, as I'm seeing him now.
Excuse me, coming through.
It's always interesting when the cars decide they're going to move up to the high line and not let the lap car go. That's when I start just, if I'm on a road course race, I'll flash the lights at them. Otherwise, I just jump on the microphone and start yelling.
I can't imagine you angry like that.
You'd be surprised. Oh, do we need a story time with Adam here? You angry? Wait a minute. Here. Do we have time?
Wait, I don't know if we can talk about that over the air. Pack Majors race at Daytona. All I'll say.
Oh, I think Mr. Peak was on board there doing the play-by-play, so you can check that out on our YouTube previous broadcast. GSRC YouTube. There's a plug. Anyways, Tim Szymanski going to lead him back to green, lap 25, quarter distance in. Good restart for him. He's on it. Shepard gets a good restart. You see Shepard.
Fantastic restart from Shepard.
Oh, contact at the back. They save it. Oh, no, they did. Allen's around. Matt Szymanski. Going to see the contact here, and that's that bottom line. You slide up and, ooh, maybe a little net code there. Hey, Donnie, they look like they had it saved on the Donnie. You know what? I think Donnie was just trying to get back up there to get ready for the next corner, and I don't think he realized he wasn't clear of Mike Allen. There's the contact.
Yeah, misjudged that closing rate a little bit much. Now, Matt Szymanski, I know he caught a little bit of that and spun onto the infield, but I think it was just a light rub. So I don't think he has a lot of damage here, which is good news for him.
Yeah, definitely for Matt Szymanski. I think he was more worried about pulling an Oxford Plains and hitting the light pole, but good news there he didn't. You see Donnie Moore, he comes back up there. I think he just misjudged that. Mike Allen just a little bit damaged maybe to the front end. He kept it off the wall, I believe. As a matter of fact, nice save. Fourth caution, lap number 28.
And still, with everything that's happened in these first 28 laps here today, we still have 14 out of 17 cars in the lead lap and still 16 cars in this race.
Well, and that's all thanks to that one reset. And other than the big wreck we had just now in turn 3 a few laps ago, there really hasn't been big contact with the wall net. It's mostly been just light contact and people spinning to bring out the cautions with this. So you see Szymanski leading. He's led from the start. You got J.R. Shepard now up to second, so he'll have that high line. Let's see how good of a restart he can get. Lowell Jewell there in third. Phil Temples. Ernie Brown up to fifth. How about Ernie doing a great job tonight? Blake up to sixth in his debut. Matt Hoos there in seventh. You got John Holcomb there in eighth. Chip Dicker, Jeff Sharp. Your top 10. So, Adam, I know a story from Daytona.
No.
That everybody. Wait a minute. We almost had some contact with Williams and Tim Szymanski as Williams was going around to get the waiver. I don't think there was, but that was close. As they always say, stay low for the waiver rounds. This is why they say this. Watch Williams. I thought they were going to hit. Yay! A little close for comfort.
Yeah, a little bit. I think he shaved a few hairs off the beard there.
So, you got lucky.
No, I'm sorry. Sorry, yeah, we're going green. Lights are off on the pace car. Nice try, though.
Maybe we'll have to get Joe to go find the audio. Maybe that would be the best way to put it on. So Tim Shanowski going to lead him to green once again. He's led from the start all 30 laps so far. Green flag going to come back out. Shepard, not so good of a restart. Lowell's going to get a run on the bottom, but I think Shepard's going to be able to clear. Maybe, maybe not. As Shepard drives it in there pretty deep.
Yeah, you saw a couple cars doing what we talked about in the pre-race show, just kind of grazing the wall with those right side tires and kind of jumping the wall just a little bit. But for the most part, things pretty tame in back, at least right now.
Going to complete to lap number 32. And how about Ernie Brown making a move for fourth on the inside to 19 at Temples? He's going to use on the low line. Oh, slider. Look out.
Shepard's thinking about it here. I tell you what, though, Shanowski, man, I mean, he wants to keep seeing these cautions. He is having such a great job at these restarts here tonight.
He has done a good job. You see everybody diamonding the corner. Shepard gets a good run off. Good little battle back here. 5th, 6th, 7th. I make that 4th. We'll put him in there, too. Ernie Brown, you got Temples, you got Matt Hoos, and there's Rich Blake. We mentioned him, that Slim Fast car.
Lowell Jewell just scraped the wall coming out of 4, loses a little bit of ground to Ernie Brown. I think Ernie Brown's going to be looking at the chops here to try to get around him here before too long.
Oh, for the lead. I thought Shepard was going to get a run. He had to get out of it at 2, or else he was going to run into back of Shanowski.
Look at the line that Shepard is running here. It's a lot lower than just everybody else, particularly through 3 and 4. I wonder how long he's going to be able to keep that up, though.
We'll have to see if he's maybe found something that these other cars haven't. You see him enter high, and he's going to bring it down. Well, actually, Shanowski brought it down that time.
Yeah, I think Shanowski saw what he was trying to do and is just trying to now is going to try to say, hey, you know, I'll run your line. You got to get around me now.
But then again, this could be Shepard playing games with Shanowski, saying, hey, you know what? I'm just going to ride. You can wear your tires out.
Very well could be.
You're right on board there with the 98 car. You just see all the bumps going into the corners. I said to the guys, actually, I went to their team speak before the broadcast, and I said, guys, make sure you had your tooth fillings filled in because they're going to get knocked out tonight with the bumps.
Didn't that used to be a problem? I believe it was at Talladega before they repaved it, that it would literally shake drivers' fillings out going at 200 miles an hour.
Thankfully, I don't have any fillings because that would be pretty interesting. I don't know how that would feel.
I mean, it's probably the old school fillings, but...
Oh, Shepard scraping the wall, but that's something that J.R. Shepard's come notorious to do, is scraping that wall off the corner a little bit.
I think it goes back to that these cars, they're definitely not as fragile as your typical open-wheel cars. So you can do that a little bit and get away with it, but you don't want to do it too much, especially at a track like this. Looks like we got a battle here for 6th, 7th, and 8th going on right now.
Yeah, that's who's starting to 21, the pedigree car to Slim Fast number 4. Rich Blake going to try to slide her. That almost did not work. Oop, who's going to get the wall? It's hard to pull a slide job on another car when that car's still there.
Yeah, something about trying to move inanimate objects or something like that.
Yeah, isn't that like some kind of wall?
Something like that. Force of motion. Oh,
contact!
I was just saying, a force in motion stays in motion until acted upon by an outside force, and there is your outside force.
You know too much science, my friend. Anyways. Oh, what do you know? He's a weatherman, I'm told.
That's not going to bring out a caution, so Matt Hoos is going to get back on track here and keep going around.
Yeah, he's going to go a lap down, though, it looks like. Another car spinning, looking for it. Phil Temples has gone around, off turn 4 here. Temple's running in the top 10, I believe. Now he's going to be back to the 12th position before that. And looking at Matt Hoos here, that pedigree car, and he's going to rejoin. They're going to be a lap down, though, in the 14th position as we go back to the front. Yeah,
I just saw Shepard brush the wall again, and that time it wasn't a soft brush. He actually lost a little bit of time to Shanowski on that one.
Shanowski stretching that lead out a little bit, but got about 3/10 or so. Shepard with a good run through the corner. How about Lowell Jewell? Here's a couple names. Look here in 3rd and 4th. These are a couple names.
See that hit there on the replay and kind of jumped up a little bit.
It's just a tough situation, but you know what? He's still fighting on as he always does. But let's mention third and fourth here with Lowell Jewell and Ernie Brown. These are two names you don't hear a lot running in the front. Lowell Jewell, I always joke around and say if it's New Smyrna, he'll be up front. But you know, here he is tonight running top 3 at Thompson. You got Ernie Brown started mid-pack. He's up here in the front. Good runs for these guys. Shepard putting all that pressure on Tim Shinowski. When is he going to make the move?
We'll get pretty close to halfway here, but he is right on his rear bumper going into 3.
There he goes. Going to make the move to the bottom here. It's a tough spot to make the pass. You can see where that high line gets the run. Now, I see some people in chat talking about the chrome horn being used potentially by Shepard. If there's anybody I know who won't use the chrome horn, it's that guy, Mr. Shepard. He one of the cleanest drivers I've ever seen in iRacing.
Well, you saw right there that he doesn't need to. I mean, he lost a little bit of ground there once he brushed the wall a couple laps back, and he gained it right back over the course of 2 laps. I think what you were saying there earlier is that he's faster. He's just biding his time right now. He doesn't need to force the issue.
No, not at all. And I mean, he realizes, hey, he's the points leader. Shinowski gets loose. There's the air right there. Lap 49, Shepard to the front.
Now the pressure is on Shinowski here. You cannot let Shepard get away. If you do, and this thing goes green the rest of the way, he's going to be gone.
Not to mention, look back here behind Shinowski. Lowell Jewell and Ernie Brown are coming. Want to see these on lap times now. This lap will kind of not be proof because of everybody getting back up to speed after that catch and save. As Shepard's going to come up on Brian Barton here in the 06. Barton going to go up in that high groove. Going to kind of take away the racing line. He's going to hit the wall, climb it, rail slide. Oh, right in the Lowell Jewell.
Oh, tough break for Lowell Jewell.
And one other car spun in 4. That is Doug Holcomb.
Lowell might have been okay. Like I think maybe his front bumpers pushed in a little bit, but I think he avoided any serious damage right there. That's good news there. And Brian's just trying to get out of the way here, misjudges it a little bit, gets into the wall, and just it's a tough situation for all involved right there.
It is. It's one of those errors that you see in iRacing, and again, I'm not judging somebody when I say this, but it's one of those where you always see people kind of looking in the rear view mirror and not out their windshield when they're worried about getting passed by the leader. The best thing you can do in any race, look out the windshield, let the leader pass you. It's kind of like road course racing. When you're in a multi-class field, if you're in a prototype car, they always say it's your job to pass me in the GT3 car. I'm going to look out the windshield the whole time. I'm going to run my line. You find your way around me. Simple kind of situation, I guess you could say similar here, where just look out the windshield, run your line. JR and those guys will find their way around you. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my logical thinking.
Well, I was going to say something else, but it'll open back up the door from earlier.
Like the Daytona here?
No.
Are we still in Daytona?
Well, you know, I think the interesting thing that you're getting ready to see is, I'm not sure that the lights just, no, okay, lights are still on the pace car, so we're at least going to go around another time here. I'm going to be interested to see how Shepard does on this restart. We've seen how Shinowski does and how great Shinowski has been on the restarts we've had here so far tonight. Every single one. He hasn't slipped up once. So can Shepard equal him, or is this going to give Shinowski another chance to possibly try to get around him and put Shepard back in his rearview mirror?
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. Good little time to make up, basically, for that little slip-up that he had and try to get to the lead. As I mentioned, Lowell Jewell's on pit road here. Well, trying to see if he's used his reset or what here. He's getting his car fixed. He's going to get out in front of the pace car, but unfortunately going to be back in the 12th position here. Saw Phil Temples was on pit road. Ernie Brown also made a pit stop. He must have gotten damage. Ran the back of Lowell maybe on that incident. But, hey, let's look at the 3rd position. How about the man making his debut, Rich Blake? He's kept his nose clean. And he's like, guys, I want to have some of this. Trying to put that slim fast car up into victory lane. Not sure how slim fast is going to go in victory lane if you're sweating a lot. That's another thought for later, I guess.
I was going to say if they have narrow walls here, that helps. I mean, you got victory lane up there by the start finish line. I mean, I guess the slimmer you are, the easier it is to get up there.
Okay, yeah. I see where you're going there.
I'm reaching for straws here, man.
It's okay. I see where you went there. Mike Allen up there in the 5th position. He's been involved in some incidents. Chip Dickert's been in some wrecks. He's up there in 6th. Donnie Moore back up to 8th. So a lot of guys who have fought some adversity up in the front here as we're going to complete lap 57 and wrap up caution number 5 on the evening. Shepard going to take off and lead him to green.
Oh, Rich Blake's going to try to take a look at the inside of Shinosky here. And thinks better of it.
He just kind of rides it in there. Jeff Sharp going to make the move on the outside here, see if he can take that 3rd position away. Mike Allen looking for a spot to go. He's going to drive it in there deep. Here comes Matt Shinosky also.
Yeah, I really thought Mike Allen was thinking about possibly making it 3 wide. Oh, we got rules after the contact. Stacking them up back there, still kind of bumping fenders a little bit. Everybody keeps it straight.
Mike Allen, the ping pong ball there. Contact! Ernie Brown, John Holcomb, Phil Temples.
Oh, those are some guys that we know have already used their fast repairs too.
Lowell Jewell in it too. He's got a smoking engine. Oh, right there, Ernie Brown comes off the wall there and gets into Temples. Lowell with nowhere to go. I say Temples, I mean Holcomb.
Yeah, I think Temples is another one of those guys that just decided that I'm not having any luck tonight. I think I'm just going to go ahead and go have a beer, go to bed.
Now, this might be the move of the race right here. Let's, as you ride with Hoos here, you see the wreck happen. I just looked at Lowell. Wow.
Oh, he had to have been 6 feet off the ground right there. Oh, who's that? Man.
Yeah, Temples went flying in the infield, basically. But the move here that we're going to talk about is Lowell Jewell, because he went to pit road. And remember I told you he might go a lap down from all this. You see Temples, bam, gets hit there. Williams almost glazes him. He ends up on his top. But Lowell Jewell, he sat on pit road, got the damage fixed from that first wreck. So what did he not use? The reset. He came on pit road after that wreck, used the reset, and now he's back out with a fresh car. So smart move on his part, kind of paid off for him. He's going to restart on the lead lap into 10th position.
He read how this race was going. He knew he needed to save that reset. So good call on Lowell here. He's got a fast car. He's going to be able to get up some spots here.
As you say, the boss knows more than anybody usually. That's why he's the boss. Jacob Williams going to get the wave around. He is in the 11th position. He'll now be 2 laps down, from what I'm seeing on scoring. J.R. Shepard, he's led 14 laps so far tonight. He's your leader. Tim Shinosky, Jeff Sharp, Rich Blake, Mike Allen, your top 5, with Shinosky, Matt, that is, in 6th. Chip Dickert running 7th. Another good run for him. Donnie Moore in 8th. Matt Hoos, 9th. And Lowell Jewell in the top 10. Those are the 10 cars on the lead lap. The cars behind the wall, I should mention Ralph Connor, Mike Holloway, Brian Barden. I believe he's still on track. I'll have to check and see if Holloway's still on track. But Temple's behind the wall. Also, Ernie Brown has gone behind the wall. Pace car light's going to go off.
Yeah, unfortunately becoming a little bit of a busy situation at the haulers on the outside of this racetrack here tonight. But, I think Shinosky's going to try to take another shot here at Shepard at the restart. We'll see how he does. And, of course, you still got Rich Blake back there as well. He's going to have the outside line this time. We'll see if he can do anything with it from 4th position.
Yeah, he lost 3rd on that high line. Let's see if he can get it back now up there as we wrap up the 7th caution here. 37 laps to go. Pace car going to hang a left. And Shepard going to kind of a later restart there. Gets a good jump and takes off. Rich Blake with another good restart at 4.
Yeah, he's going to try to hang on here, but I think Tim Shinowski kind of gets a little loose on the outside of 3 there. He's going to lose that a little bit. Excuse me, not Tim Shinowski.
Oh, contact. Dickerson in the grass. He saves it.
Stay caution free. He gets it back straight. Who I was trying to say earlier was Jeff Sharp, who I could not spit the name out, but I got it now.
Yeah,
and of course, he's fallen back to 5th position with Mike Allen in 4th, and Rich Blake, he's been able to get 3rd position back now, right behind Tim Shinowski.
Yeah, Shinowski, you wonder how loose that car is now. He got a little loose there in 3, and that's what cost him the lead. You see Blake able to get pretty good solid runs here, but already Shepard pulling out to a 6/10 of a second lead on Shinowski. Rich Blake, Mike Allen there about getting into Mac of him. Good battle. Let's go back here to the 8th position. A man on the move, Lowell Jewell, trying to get around Matt Shinowski for 7th here. Lowell's got his racing gloves on tonight.
Yeah, he knows the situation that he's got to move.
Oh, trouble!
Rich Blake
spins it out. Don't come up.
Oh.
Looks like no harm, no foul. Let's see. Oh, Blake got a little tagged. He got helped. Well, it's not the first time we've seen a Goodrich car wreck a yellow number 4 car in the past.
I was getting ready to say.
But looked like it was Chip Dickert.
It was Chip Dickert after the spin.
He pretty much clipped the wall to miss. Nobody made contact, so good news there. I know that's something that's kind of frowned upon here in the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series. Watch this. I think Dickert might be drinking some Dasani water after that. Jacob Williams going to get the wave around again. He'll be now back on the lead lap, it looks like, in the 11th position. This gives us a chance, so I don't have to waste time continuing to get Adam to share his Daytona story. Let's talk about the lineups that are going on right now. Of course, the Street Stock Series at 7 o'clock each and every Saturday night. That's a waiting list right now, so according to what I'm seeing here, but you can always go to the Bootleg Racing League and check out their page on iRacing to see if they're signing up or not. That race tonight won by Mike Holloway, and then of course at 8 o'clock the Pro Truck Series, that race won by Chris Berg, and then of course the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series that you're watching right now on the Global Sim Racing channel. And of course coming up, they're thinking March-ish. They're working on it. I saw some more photos on Facebook this week from the dirt. I saw some truck photos on Eldora, so I think that you're going to see the dirt confirmed very shortly, but that Bootleg Racing League late model dirt series is going to be coming in the very near future also. So I just want to mention those couple things for the Bootleg Racing League. And I'll check out all their leagues, of course, by going to the Bootleg Racing League iRacing page and talking to Lowell Jewell, who helps put all this together.
I'll tell you what, this is, I think, probably the second time I've had a chance to actually watch these guys. So I might have to get out here and run with them here when I have free Saturday nights. These guys, I know we've had a lot of cautions and everything here, but these are some pretty good guys to run with from what I'm hearing and everything else. And so it might be fun to race with them.
Yeah, it's a super group. And let's give them the benefit of the doubt tonight. Thompson is a track they haven't raced in multiple seasons. You go to tracks like next week, they're going to Langley. You look at Stafford last week. Some of these tracks they've been to every season, so they know it like they could do it in their sleep if they wanted to. So I think tonight we're getting a little bit of the benefit of the doubt.
And it's also Thompson.
It is true. Thompson.
I mean, no matter how often you race here, you're going to find yourself into trouble here. It's just that type of track.
But you think if you're thinking it's a wreck fest as you're watching on iRacing Live or on the Global Sim Racing channel on YouTube, come back next week. You'll see that this league's really about, and it's a lot of fun. Good guys to be around. Shepard, Shinowski, Mike Allen, Jeff Sharp, Donnie Moore now your top 5 as we go back to racing. 27 to go.
A little bit better restart that time out at Shinowski, but not enough to keep Shepard behind him. Shepard's going to take the lead easily there.
Jeff Sharp going to run that high line on Allen, see if he can clear him. Looks like he will, and here comes Matt Shinowski, the Hardy's car.
Watching Mike Allen here, he's been doing his best to try to make his car as wide as possible, but it isn't enough. Well, maybe it will be enough to keep Matt Shanoski behind him. He's a little bit loose there out of 2, and Matt Shanoski's going to lose a little bit of ground to him. But man, Mike Allen was doing a really good job of making his car as wide as he could.
That's what you got to do around a short track like this, especially when it's, I guess you can call it multi-groove. Yes, the high line's a faster line, but you can make that bottom line work. See Donnie Moore trying to cut it to the bottom there on Matt Shanoski. How about Lowell Jewell there in the 7th position? Jeff Sharp up here in the 3rd spot trying to get a run on that 07. Tim Shanoski has ran a great race tonight. He led 48 laps early. Hasn't been lower in 2nd place, but you see Sharp trying to put pressure on him there in the 49. There's Shanoski sliding down. Sharp going to get a good run here. You see Lowell Jewell trying to run that high line on Donnie Moore. But the battle here is on for 2nd. Sharp trying everything he can.
I think this is leading credence to your theory about earlier about him burning off his tires and everything, running that fast that early, and he's definitely got to watch out for Jeff Sharp here now.
Well, this tire build on iRacing is so easy to do. If you go out there and race hard for 5-10 laps, all of a sudden lap 20, lap 30 into a run, you're like, oh, I need tires, and then you realize, oh, wait, I can't take tires in this. And you realize you messed up, so you got to take care of your tires here. We're coming up on lap 80 this time by. How about this? Let's go back to a battle for 8th. Rich Blake, he had the inside on Matt Hoos. Blake trying to work his way back up there after spinning out, getting helped by Mike Allen. I'm sure he's a little hot under the collar. Everybody pretty much single file, though, all the way around this track. They're just trying to find grip.
Yeah, but now these laps are clicking off fast when you're running lap times below 20 seconds a lap. So, you got to start thinking about your end game here and what you can do. So run single file, but realize that this race is going to be over pretty darn quick if we don't get another yellow.
Hey, riding on board with Jeff Sharp there in the 3rd position. Sharp about 1.4 seconds or so back from the leader, J.R. Shepard. Shepard trying to get that 3rd win in 4 races this season. It'd be a 7th win in 10 races. Think about that number for a second. A full season normally is 10 or 11 races. He's won 7 of the last 10 if he wins tonight.
Well, that's an incredible feat in any series on iRacing with as many competitive drivers that's in this service.
Well, especially in this series. I mean, you watched the last couple of seasons. Prior to last season, you had LaVenture beating out Shepard. But Shepard, Donnie Moore put on great shows each and every week during those couple of seasons where Shepard came out on top when it was over with. But there's always good points battles in the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series, and we're seeing another one shaping up, and we're seeing J.R. Shepard stretching that lead more and more. Look at the lap times, a 2.9 from Shepard, a 3.01 from Shanoski at last time by. So 16 to go this time, though.
Oh,
Donnie Moore and Lowell Jewell were down in the grass on the inside, and one car flipping, and Matt Hoos, Dickert gets a piece, Williams gets a piece. I just looked back and saw Lowell and Donnie Moore on the inside grass almost.
Yeah, Matt Hoos did about everything except actually go over on his lid right there.
Oh, Mike Allen gets loose in front. And that's where you see Donnie Moore. Whoa. They save it. And, he gets tail whipped.
So how long can you keep your car up on 2 wheels?
That's pretty impressive. I think it's ought to be a fun ride here. I mean, I know technically this isn't the whole ghost ride, the whip thing, but it's a close thing to it, I think.
I mean, I know it doesn't. I know it doesn't make up much for Matt Hoos's night here so far, but at least he's going to get some style points out of that.
Just trying to think of some of the equivalents you could see. I can't think of anything. Joe Peak behind the scenes suggesting a dab. I don't know
Joe, I know exactly what dabbing is.
I got the dab.
I'm not going there.
Trying to think. I'm thinking of a pogo stick for some reason is what pictured in my mind, but either way, interesting stuff. It's one of those things on iRacing you'll never see again, probably. So, Adam, we're shaping up to have a interesting restart here. We're going to have probably 9 or 10 to go. So we look at the top 10. Shepard in first. You got Tim Shanowski. He's going to have that high line. He's still got a chance to redeem himself here. He was running lap times right with Shepard. So it's a matter of Shepard getting that restart on Shanowski. We'll have to see there. But you got Jeff Sharp running in the third position. You got Matt Shanowski. How about that? 2 Shanowskis in the top 4. That's pretty impressive. Donnie Moore there in 5th. You got Lowell Jewell. Rich Blake back up to 7th, I should say. Matt Hoos. He's still somehow in 8th after all this. Mike Allen in 9th, and then Chip Tickett, the first one to lap down, as looks like Brian Barden going to get the wave around, but he's some 7 laps down.
Yeah, well, it'll put us at 9 cars here on the lead lap as we go back to green. And I'd have to say, with the way that this night's going, I mean, if something happens up front, any one of these 9 cars has it. But you're going to be having to look at J.R. Shepard trying to get on loud pedal real quick again, get away from Shanowski, and I think he might have a chance here.
Yeah, lights are off. We'll have 9 laps to go. And again, as I always say, we get to that 5 to go mark, we might be at the point of no return. So we'll have to see what you can get here in these matter laps, and can they get to the finish of this race. Can Shepard get that 3rd win in 4 races? Can Tim Shanowski join his brother as the only winner not named LaVenture and Shepard?
Watch Sharp here. Watch Sharp on this restart.
Let's see. He's in 3rd on contact there. He tried to get the jump. JR checked him up. Smart short track restart. And look back there. Matt Shanowski going to go for 3rd. Now, I was saying Matt Shanowski, the only driver not named Matt LaVenture and J.R. Shepard to win a race in the last 2 months. He's up there in the 3rd spot now, and Tim Shanowski looking to get into victory lane. Donnie Moore trying to get a run on Jeff Sharp, who's trying to get a run on the 00. J.R. Shepard, he's pretty much saying bye, Felicia.
Oh, that was such a fantastic restart there. I thought Jeff was going to have something for him with the way he was looking, but Shepard read that like a book, and he is saying, "You're right, bye, Felicia." He is gone at this point already, almost 0.7 of a second up on 2nd place Tim Shanowski.
Well, if you got to be mad or Tim, I think you got to be happy here. Seeing both these guys here, family members up in the top 3. You don't see this often in the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series. So to see them both up there, this is definitely really cool. As Chip Dicker did take his car behind the wall. He'll finish in the 12th position, it looks like, as I'm seeing. As you're right on board with Shepard. Looking back at the rest of the field, that lead still about 7/10 last time by. Believe it or not, Shanowski was 5/100ths faster. That's not going to do it.
5 to go, I believe, or 4 to go now. I do believe a caution here would end it.
Yeah, we'd be done right now if this race were to end. That time by Shepard about 1/10 faster than Shanowski. Matt Shanowski trying to hold off Jeff Sharp. Donnie Moore back there in 5th. Looking at that 10th position, as we always talk about, Jacob Williams in that 10th spot right now. So Jacob looking to maybe be the pole sitter next weekend in Langley.
Yeah, I think your battle here is getting ready to come to the line is probably going to be the 3rd and 4th. Jeff Sharp still behind Matt Shanowski, looking hungry. If he can get one good run on him, he might be able to give him a shot, but time is definitely not on his side right now.
He's probably singing a song in the car right now. Everybody's single file as they come off of turn 4. J.R. Shepard going to take the white flag. 5/8 of a mile left. And he'll have his 3rd win of the season. Smooth off of turn 2, and he's the hottest driver right now on the circuit. It's going to be his 7th win in the last 10 races as J.R. Shepherd wins the Outlaw 100 at Thompson. Tim Shanowski, Matt Shanowski going to get your top 3. Jeff Sharp, Donnie Moore going to be the top 5. The fireworks go off as we celebrate victory here at Thompson tonight for J.R. Shepherd at 98 car and his 3rd win of the season. We'll get the final results all stacked up and get our top 3 drivers in here. We'll talk to them and we'll recap the race as we go to break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Yes, Groundhog Day was this past Thursday, but tell me if you've heard this before. J.R. Shepherd wins again as we go to the final results with Shepherd scoring his third win of the season in 4 races. How about the brothers Tim and Matt Shanowski second and third? Jeff Sharp finishing fourth. Donnie Moore rounding out your top 5. Adam, I'll let you do the rest of the top 5 or top 10.
Yeah, we start with Lowell Jewell, Rich Blake, Mike Allen, Matt Hughes, and Jacob Williams through 6th through 10th. And, of course, Matt Hughes ended up being the last car in the lead lap. But Jacob Williams gets to start on the pole for the next race.
Yeah, at Langley, he'll be on the pole, which is, I guess, some good news out of a bad race for Jacob. Brian Barton finishing 11th, Chip Dickert, Ernie Brown, John Holcomb, Phil Temples, Mike Holloway, your pick finished 16th. Could have been worse. And Ralph Connor finished 17th when it is all over with. So Adam has got his way down to victory lane there, which is actually outside the track over on the grandstand side, where Adam is caught up with our winner, J.R. Shepard.
Yeah, we've got J.R. Shepard here with us right now, and of course, J.R., I mean, fantastic drive out there here for tonight. Of course, it looked like there, for the first half of the race, well, most of the first half, when we weren't under yellow, you were, almost looked like you were biding your time back there behind Tim. Is that what you were doing?
Yeah, Tim was really fast at the beginning of the race for sure, and I was trying to see where his weaknesses were on the track and where I could gain some time, and yeah, I was just trying to save the tires as much as I can, because these tires are they're real important at the end of the race.
Yeah, how'd those tires feel after 100 laps around Thompson?
They weren't that bad, but I think it's because the cautions helped out a lot for that. Yeah, it was really slick on the bottom. You definitely had to stay in that high groove for the race.
And of course, you had a couple of late race restarts there that ended up being really key. One of them in particular, I believe it was the last one. Did you see Jeff Sharp back there behind you? Did you see what he was getting ready to try to do to you?
Yeah, I knew Jeff was back there, and I wasn't sure if he was going to give me a shove or not. But when he did, I hit the throttle to take off. It gave me a little bit of a jump out there.
Well, it was certainly fun to watch you here tonight, JR. Anybody you'd like to thank here real quick?
Oh yeah, for sure. Big thanks to Lowell and Matt Hughes for everything they do in this league, Bootleg Racing League. It's awesome to run with these guys, and thanks to Lawrence Towing for being a great partner with us. And yeah, it's awesome fun each and every week. And hey, give a good shout out to Tim and Matt for coming home second and third. They ran good races tonight.
All right, well, hey, JR, once again, congratulations on the win tonight. Fantastic race. And I believe that Chris is going to catch up here with both Matt and Tim. We're going to get them down here at the same time.
Yeah, we got them both here as I think they're sitting here trying to figure out who the better driver is. I'm trying to stand in the middle here and break them up. But needless to say, great run for both Matt and Tim. I know you guys have been around here, at least from the time I've been the last few seasons. You guys have ran. And, you know, Matt, you obviously won last season at Stafford. Tim, you've had your ups and downs. But how cool is it to have both of you in the top three finishing this race?
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, this is the first time we've accomplished that. I think it's pretty cool.
Now, Tim, for you, real quick, we'll start. You led 48 laps tonight. You made that one mistake in turn 3. Talk about that bobble. What happened?
Yeah, just going into turn 3, and you just knowing JR's right behind you, you have to be perfect pretty much to keep him behind you. And just a small bobble, but that's all it took.
When you got in that second place run tonight for you, what's your good momentum gainer, but that's got to be something you're proud of.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Thompson has not been a good track for me ever, really. So to get a second place finish, I'm very pleased with that.
And of course, Matt, for you finishing in the third position tonight, you had to come up through the field. You had some spins, almost took out the light pole in turn 4 at one point. Talk about that.
Yeah, it was an eventful race. I went for a big slide early in the race, and late in the race, I just barely was able to avoid Mike there spinning off of turn 4. So, hey, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah, absolutely. And this question is probably more for you, Matt, because I know Tim really didn't have many issues either passing or not getting passed by people. But for you, Matt, that bottom line, it seemed like a lot of cars were sliding up into that car in the top groove. Was that the scene you were seeing?
Oh, yeah, it was just a very slippery racetrack tonight. Getting a restart, starting on the high line was very important if you weren't the leader. And luckily, towards the end of the race, I had a few of those where I was able to start on the high line and pass a few cars and make my way up through the field.
Well, both of you guys did a great job. Tim, I'll give you a second there if you want to send a shout out to anyone.
Well, yeah, I just want to thank Lowell for putting on this league, and Lawrence Towing for sponsoring the modified series, and just thank all the competitors that I race with every week. It's a lot of fun.
And same for you, Matt.
It's the same thing. Lowell and Matt do a great job with this league, and you guys do a great job with your broadcasting. Lawrence Towing helps us out. So yeah, definitely. That's all I got.
Well, you guys put on a great show tonight. Matt, nice job coming from the back to the front. Tim, great job. Led 48 laps tonight and finishing P2. Nothing to be ashamed of, especially when it's somebody like JR. So great job to both of you, and we'll wish you the best for next week at Langley.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
So Tim Shanowski, Matt Shanowski, your second and third place finishers tonight. The brothers on the podium when it's all over with tonight. So definitely a great run for them. So Adam, before we take off here, my friend, final thoughts from you about tonight's race?
Well, I think you saw Thompson being the typical Thompson, with lots of action on track, quite a few O's, but also some fantastic racing at the same time. And it was good to call that race here with you tonight, Chris.
Yeah, I definitely had a blast myself. As again, next week we'll be at Langley. You can check out the race at 9:15 on iRacing Live, and of course the Global Sim Racing channel. And also thanks to the title sponsor, Lawrence Towing. They service Indianapolis, Indiana, and the neighboring communities. If you find yourself in need of a tow, Lawrence Towing is the way to go. Also, Virtual Grip Network. It's a blog devoted to the news from the world of iRacing at virtualgrip.net. You can stay up to date with what's happening on iRacing, keep up to date with the Top World Championship Series, including the Blanc Pond GT Series, the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, and the World Championship Grand Prix Series. You can check out virtualgrip.net and facebook.com/virtualgrip.
Yeah, also thanks to the Bootleg Racing League for organizing the Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. For more series information about the BRL, go over to facebook.com/Bootleg Racing League, and you can also find them at bootlegracingleague.com.
Also, thanks to the company's equipment software that you see on the screen right there, we use to help broadcast.
Yeah, and of course, the original music you've heard tonight all year on our broadcast is thanks to Eric Ocombe and Casey Lalonde. You can see the information now on your screen about how to contact them. For information about all of the GSRC events, you can head on over to globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSRC Channel and Facebook /Global Sim Racing Channel.
And we also have upcoming races from other series on the screen, as you see there, the different races that we have coming up. So mark them down on your calendar so you can come and join us for future GSRC broadcasts. Again, the next Lawrence Towing Outlaw Modified Series race will be at the Langley Speedway in the Commonwealth of Virginia, as we hope to see you, as always, at 9:15 Eastern Time. I believe Mr. Ambrose will be back in the booth. So, Adam, I appreciate you filling in tonight. But for Dougie Beard, for Joe Peak, who's probably drinking a lot of water after his 32-mile trek from Stafford over to Thompson, and for Adam Young, I'm Chris Scala. Race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.